I was bound to a system. It told me I was the female lead in a sweet romance novel, and my childhood friend was the male lead. But the story had gone off track. The system demanded I win over the male lead, achieve a sweet ending, and save the world. Yet, after 3 years of trying to pursue him, Jackson detested me. The moment he saw me, his face was filled with impatience. He even frequently hurled insults my way. Finally, after I approached him proactively one more time, he said, "You act like such a simp, constantly clinging to me. It's genuinely sickening. I like Luna. Can't you just like someone else?" Host, detecting you have one opportunity to change your target. Would you like to switch? Switch. Switch immediately. Switch right now. I should have switched ages ago. I instantly replied to the system. Whatever the reason for changing targets, I was immensely grateful. Host, please wait. Retrieving data. I waited intently for the system's reply, completely ignoring the dog-like human beside me. Jackson was handsome, with a wild aura. His big, bright eyes were so clear and soulful, he could make a brick wall seem romantic. But at this moment, his slightly red and thin lips curled in scorn, spitting out cruel words without mercy. "You always act like some kind of stalker, following me around and obsessing over me. It's disgusting. Do less of that from now on." Yes. The disgust in Jackson's eyes deepened. He turned his head away, as if I were something dirty, beneath his notice. I secretly rubbed my hands together, buzzing with anticipation, waiting for the system to churn out a new target for me. Jackson and I were childhood friends. We'd known each other since we were 5, and it had been 16 years. When I first learned Jackson was my target, I was secretly happy for a long time. At 5, Jackson protected me from other kids bullying me. He didn't say a word and took on 3 of them, then got a good beating. Even though he lost badly, I was completely unharmed. At 8, I fell out of a tree in the wilderness and hurt my leg. Jackson cried the entire way as he practically dragged me home. Though I ended up more injured from the dragging, he didn't abandon me when I was scared. At 14, my first period started, and I was so mortified I couldn't even bring myself to go to the restroom during class. It was him who took off his jacket to cover me and, blushing, went to the supermarket to buy me pads. Before I turned 18, I was the only girl in Jackson's circle. Back then, he genuinely treated me so well. I liked him. I thought he liked me too, at least a little bit. I imagined if Jackson was the target, we'd quickly achieve our happy ending. Never thought. 3 years. A full 3 years. His favorability for me just kept plummeting, and honestly, mine for him did too. It must be in the negatives by now. I sincerely prayed in my heart. "Oh, all-powerful deities, Buddha, saints above, please, grant me a normal, handsome guy, at least 6 feet tall, with a killer physique for a target. I'd willingly trade 30 years of Jackson's life for it." Jackson said impatiently, "I'm never going to be with you in this lifetime. Now get lost." I didn't even clearly hear what Jackson said, just casually brushing him off. Okay. I focused on my silent prayer, this one just my safety net. "God, please grant me a normal target. I, your humble servant, would trade 30 years of Jackson being forced to eat kale for it. Amen." Jackson looked at me for a moment, slightly surprised, then disdainfully turned away again. Jackson's friend, Leo, came to find him. "Jax, Luna, the campus queen, is waiting for us in the VIP booth. Let's go." "Alright, Leo, Jax, I just heard Alara say she's not going to bother you anymore. You really don't care?" Jackson scoffed. "Do you believe that? It's just a new trick to get my attention. You watch, in a few days, when that doesn't work, she'll be sticking to me like glue again. She loves me too much to let go." "Leo, that's our Jackson, always knows how to handle his women." "Enough, why are we talking about her? It's disgusting." Standing in place, I stared at the system panel. "Host, your new target is Caleb." Caleb was the school's academic genius, smart and from a good family. He and Jackson were hailed as the school's male idols. He was the secret crush of countless girls at school, but because he was so outstanding, few dared to confess. Most importantly, Caleb was over 6 feet tall, handsome. I hadn't seen his physique, but it must be good. And he had no rumored relationships, completely single. I laughed out loud in delight, deciding I'd visit a temple and light some incense when I got a chance. I had to properly thank all the deities. I started gathering information on Caleb's whereabouts, planning to orchestrate a casual encounter. I heard Caleb was at the library. I found a pretty floral dress, put on light makeup, and tied my hair into pigtails, going for a pure and innocent vibe. I grabbed a book I'd borrowed before, planning to use returning it as an excuse to make an impression on Caleb. But just as I was about to head out, I got a call from Jackson. He immediately started giving haughty orders. "Luna wants desserts from the Sweet Haven. Go buy a few, and pair them with some boba tea. Deliver them within half an hour." I wasn't angry at all. Honestly, if I truly let myself get angry with Jackson, I'd probably explode and become a walking drama bomb. "Jackson, find someone else or go buy them yourself. I'm busy, I don't have time for you." Jackson completely ignored me, finished his spiel, and hung up. "Hurry up, I'll only wait half an hour." Even when you're playing hard to get, know your limits. Psychopath, narcissist, self-absorbed jerk. Ugh, such a turn off. I cursed him under my breath and blocked his number. Not having to deal with Jackson the maniac, watching him throw a fit, was simply wonderful. Finally, I wouldn't have to worry about getting stress-related illnesses anymore. At the library, I pretended to stand there returning a book, but my eyes were scanning non-stop, trying to pinpoint Caleb's location. Soon, I found him. It wasn't that my eyesight was exceptional, it was that Caleb practically glowed, and his handsomeness was on a whole other level compared to everyone else. I secretly made a decision to work on my complexion when I got back. Otherwise, standing next to him, I'd just be the background, like a firefly next to a street lamp. Alright, next up, the approach. The most inconspicuous yet noticeable accidental encounter in a library is probably standing on opposite sides of the same bookshelf as Caleb, pulling out a book, and then our eyes meeting. When our eyes met, I should subtly smile. It was both sweet and romantic, and easy to execute. Ugh, darn it, that trick wouldn't work. The school bookshelves were double-layered. You'd have to pull out 2 books to make eye contact. The chances of Caleb and I simultaneously pulling out opposing books and achieving that across the bookshelf eye contact feat were too low. And if I pulled a book after he did, just to meet his eyes, it would be too obvious. Gotta think of something else. Got it. The bookshelves are so tall, it's perfectly normal for me not to reach a book. Caleb is such a tall, strong guy, he'd probably be happy to help a delicate girl like me grab a book, right? As long as he helps, we'd have a connection, an excuse to talk to him, ask for his help, invite him to dinner. One thing leading to another, we'd get to know each other, and feelings would develop. Hey, if it works, it works. Once I had a plan, I immediately put it into action. I walked to a bookshelf not far from Caleb, randomly picked a book, and began to stand on my tiptoes, reaching for it, putting on a full show of being able to touch it but not quite grab it. But after reaching for a while, no one came to help. I suddenly turned my head, using my peripheral vision to see what Caleb was doing, only to find that spot empty. I stepped back from the bookshelf and saw Caleb already seated in the reading area. I inwardly grumbled that he was so oblivious. I went to the fiction section and picked out a romance novel that suited my taste.